Most of what we call self-care is just expensive avoidance with a candle on top.
Oof, that is a bit close to home, Sofia.
It's meant to be.
Right, welcome to Sunk Cost. Two friends, one mic, and a lot of opinions about money and modern life. I'm Alex, that's Sofia, and we dig into what things actually cost us in money, time, energy, all of it, and whether any of it's worth it. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today we are talking about self-care, the whole industry, the bath bombs, the rest days, the 40 quid face serum. The question is it genuinely good for you, or is it just expensive avoidance dressed up in wellness language? Sophia, define self-care for me. What are we actually talking about?
Okay, so self-care is this massive umbrella now. It started as a legitimate mental health concept. Therapists actually used it. Take care of your basic needs, rest, set boundaries. And now it's been completely colonized by consumer culture. Now it means buy stuff.
Which is a genuinely wild thing when you think about it, right? The whole point was supposed to be free, like go for a walk, sleep, drink water. And somewhere along the line, someone went, brilliant. What if we charged people for that?
And what if we charged them a lot?
And we all just went along with it. I've got a mate who spent 120 quid on a restorative weekend kit from some wellness brand. It was a candle, a face mask, and a printed card that said, "You deserve rest." He could have just had a lie-in for free.
Okay, but here's where I actually push back on myself a little. Because I don't think all spending on rest or comfort is automatically bad. The question I keep coming back to is, are you buying something that helps you reset and come back to your life? Or are you buying something to avoid a feeling you don't want to deal with?
So what's the test? How do you know which one you're doing?
Ask yourself, after this, will the thing I was avoiding still be there? If yes, you didn't do self-care. You did expensive delay.
Oh, yeah, that lands. Because I went through this phase right after Jess and I stopped seeing each other, where I was doing what I called treating myself. Booked a spa afternoon, new trainers, about 3 takeaways in a row. I genuinely believed I was recovering. And then Monday came around and everything I hadn't dealt with was just sat there waiting for me. But now I was also skint.
Yeah, that's the thing. The spending felt like action, like you were doing something about how you felt.
Exactly. I was very busy being absolutely no better.
Honestly, though, this is what the wellness industry has figured out. That humans are really bad at distinguishing between doing something and doing something useful. And they've built a multi-billion-dollar business on that gap.
But here's where I want to push back though. Because I don't think it's entirely cynical. Some of this stuff genuinely works, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a good night's sleep or time off isn't valuable. The concept is real. It's the monetization of it that's mental.
Oh, I completely agree. The concept is real. My issue isn't self-care. It's the way consumer self-care has been designed to never actually satisfy you. You buy the face cream, and then 3 weeks later you need the serum, and then the mask, and the supplement. There's no finish line. That's not an accident.
It's a subscription model for your mental health, basically.
It is literally a subscription model for your mental health. And like all subscriptions, the whole business model depends on you never fully getting what you came for.
Speaking as someone with 17 active subscriptions, I feel personally attacked.
How many of those are self-care adjacent, would you say?
I mean, there's a meditation app I haven't opened since February. There's a sleep sounds thing. There might be a journaling one. I genuinely can't remember signing up for it.
Receipts!
Moving on. But here's where it gets a bit uncomfortable. Because I think there's a class dimension to this whole thing that people don't want to say out loud.
Go on.
When you're genuinely exhausted, like working 2 jobs, kids, all of it, and someone tells you to do self-care, what they're really telling you is, do the things that cost money and require free time. A spa day, a yoga class, organic food. And if you can't afford that, you get told you're not prioritizing yourself, which is a horrible thing to say to someone who's just trying to get through the week.
This is real, and it bothers me a lot. The wellness industry markets itself as being about health and restoration, but the premium version of it is completely inaccessible to the people who probably need rest and recovery the most. And then there's this subtle cultural message that if you're burned out, it's a personal failure. You just didn't do enough yoga.
Which is backwards, complete scam. The burnout is often a structural problem. Your job, your hours, your cost of living, and they've somehow convinced you it's a you problem that you can solve by buying a better moisturizer.
And here's the number that I think is wild. The global wellness industry is somewhere north of $5 trillion. That's bigger than the pharmaceutical industry. And unlike pharma, there's basically no regulatory framework. You can slap wellness on almost anything and charge more for it.
Is that actually true? 5 trillion?
Look it up. It's staggering. And a huge chunk of that is what I'd classify as aspirational self-care. Things you buy not because they solve a problem, but because they signal that you're the kind of person who takes care of themselves.
Right, and that's status, isn't it? It's not even really about feeling better. It's about being seen to be someone who feels better. Someone who has their life together enough to have a morning routine.
The morning routine content industry is its own thing. I've watched a 5 a.m. wake up, cold plunge, journaling, matcha latte morning routine video at 11 p.m. while eating crackers. The irony was not lost on me.
That is extremely relatable and also a bit grim. But okay, you said something earlier about expensive avoidance. I want to actually dig into the avoidance part because I think that's the sharpest bit of it.
Yeah, so behaviorally, avoidance is really seductive because it gives you immediate relief. You feel bad, you do the nice thing, you feel temporarily better. Your brain logs that as self-care worked. But what it actually learned is spending money makes the bad feeling go away for a bit, which is a dangerous lesson.
Because then, every time you feel bad, the move becomes, go spend money on something comforting.
And the wellness industry is specifically designed to be the destination for that impulse. It's more socially acceptable than, say, drinking. You can't really be judged for buying a face mask. You're taking care of yourself. But the underlying mechanism, use consumption to escape an emotion, is the same.
Okay, and I'll say the quiet thing loud. I have absolutely done this. Not just after Jess, just generally. Bad week at work, don't want to think about whatever's actually wrong. And suddenly, I'm on my phone booking some random experience or buying something I don't need. And I frame it to myself as a reward. You've had a hard week, you deserve this. And look, maybe I did deserve a treat, but I definitely didn't deserve it 5 times in 1 week.
And that's the "you deserve this" language, which is everywhere in self-care marketing. It's doing something really specific. It's taking your guilt about spending and reframing it as self-compassion. So the very moment when you should maybe pause and think, do I actually need this? You've been given a ready-made justification. You deserve it. It's self-care.
It's a permission slip the brand sells you alongside the product.
Exactly. And look, I spend absurd money on Diego's vet bills, and I justify it as he deserves the best care. And I know that's technically the same mechanism. I'm not immune to this.
The cat is your self-care.
Diego is my one genuine self-care expense that I will defend to my dying day and not examine further.
All right, final boss territory though. Because I think there's an argument you haven't made yet that I kind of want you to make, which is, even if it's avoidance, even if it's a bit of a scam, does it matter? Like if someone buys a 40 quid bath set and feels better for a weekend, is that actually a problem?
Okay, final boss take. I think the real harm isn't any single purchase. The real harm is that we've built an entire cultural infrastructure that teaches people to respond to stress, burnout, and unhappiness with consumption, and then tells them that the consumption itself is the cure. So when the cure doesn't work, you don't question the method, you just buy more. And meanwhile, the actual causes, overwork, financial stress, loneliness, a system that runs people into the ground, those never get addressed because we're all too busy shopping our way to wellness.
And the industry profits specifically from that loop never closing.
The industry requires that loop never closing. A product that actually fixed your burnout would be a terrible business model.
So the entire wellness industry is structurally incentivized to not actually make you well.
In its current consumer form, I think that's largely true. The free version of self-care, sleep, community, movement, time in nature, talking to someone, that's not a business. Nobody's getting rich off you going for a walk.
They're trying though. Have you seen how much some of these walking apps are charging?
Oh, I've seen. They'll get there.
And obviously, we should say this clearly. We're two people with a lot of opinions, not your therapists, your doctors, or your financial advisors. So take everything here as what it is. Two friends having a fairly heated conversation.
Heated is the word. I feel like we actually agree on most of this, though.
Do we? I feel like we had a proper disagreement in the middle there.
We agree the concept is real and valuable. We agree the industry has captured it and monetized it in ways that often work against the people buying in. I think where you lean more than me is on not judging individual purchases. Like, let people have their bath bombs.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'm less interested in shaming any individual for how they cope, and more interested in just naming the system that's exploiting that coping. Like, be aware of what's happening, that's all.
And I'd add, try to find at least some version of rest and recovery that doesn't require a credit card. Not because spending is evil, but because genuine recovery probably can't be bought, and it's worth knowing the difference.
Right, that's sunk cost for today. The takeaway? Self-care as a concept, real, important, valid. Self-care as an industry, designed to never actually finish the job and worth being a bit suspicious of. Know the difference between a reset and a retreat. And maybe check your subscriptions. I'll be checking mine with genuine fear later this evening. Monday, we're handing the show over to Sofia. She's running the week. And we're asking, why do we buy things we never use? The unread books, the gym kit still in the bag, the kitchen gadget that's been on the counter since forever. That one should get spicy.
I have a spreadsheet of things I've bought and never used. I am ready.
Of course you have a spreadsheet. Thanks for listening to Sunk Cost. We'll see you Monday.
See you then.